Hi, good day everyone. Once again, this is Mo and this is another day for another War Legends video. And for today's video, we'll be doing a quick battle review about Pota, Infinity versus Happy Days and Marsha. And you can definitely see the difference between their ratings. But let me tell you that Pota and Infinity were able to win this fight. And there you go, we can see that Happy Days were able to produce his first fighting unit, which is a Goon. And now heading straight to the lower part of the map. Meanwhile, let us take a quick look at the base of Pota right here. We can see that he is still training his first fighting unit, which is a swordsman. Meanwhile, we can also notice that Infinity hasn't able to train any fighting units as of the moment. And for Marsha, he is still developing his base. Meanwhile that is happening, we can see that Marsha were able to claim the watchtower on the lower part of the map near to the base of Infinity. And there you go, we have here Infinity already producing some skeleton archers on his side. Now let us take a quick look on Poto's base. We can see that he is producing some swordsmen. Meanwhile, we can take a look on Marsha. He is going for Dwarven technology, and it seems that he will be utilizing some Dwarven technologies and Elven tech. So we might be seeing some Baron or Muriel on the side of Marsha. But yeah, as you can notice right here, we have the skeleton archers of Infinity. Meanwhile, there are some goons moving out of the base of Happy Days. And there you go, 4 skeleton archers moving now to claim the watchtower that had been claimed by Happy Days and now being claimed by Infinity. And I think Marsha and Happy Days had the advantage at this point because they know that Infinity will be going for a massive skeleton archers and they can definitely counter that army composition. Meanwhile, the army composition of Marsha and Happy Days are still kept hidden from Pota and Infinity. So when it comes to the information, Marsha and Happy Days have their advantage. But the question there is, will Marsha and Happy Days will be responding or will be using that kind of information to their advantage, of course. And there you go, movements coming from Infinity trying to support Pota right there. Meanwhile, Pota is trying to chase this one goon, now retreating to the base of Marsha. And there you go, Marsha did get some Muriel and Warsmith and bunch of Elven archers. And that kind of army composition really works well because you have your Warsmith dealing massive damage, AoE damage, and at the same time, you have your DPS of Elven archers. Very well combination. Meanwhile, we can see that we have Happy Days right here, just standing around not helping Marsha. But as you can see, we have Ether coming from Infinity versus Marsha at this moment, and it seems that Infinity is losing a lot of skeleton archers, and the Elven archers are not minding the Ether because that is a really good move coming from Marsha. You don't want to focus on the tank of your opponent because that is their job, to distract your DPS. Meanwhile, their DPS is taking down your back lane or front lane. And there you go, it seems that Pota and Infinity were able to advance at this point, but it seems that Happy Days were able to notice that there's an actual fight going on this part of the map and already sending out his goon and some skeleton archers. And there you go, we have Necromancer coming from Infinity. However, the Necromancer is down and this Ether is trying to chase Muriel. Well, good luck for doing that. I hope that you can chase that Muriel. And there you go, we have Ether coming from the side of Happy Days. Meanwhile, on the side of Pota, there is no hero yet. But if you're going to take a look on the numbers of units, it seems that the blue team have their advantage. And there you go, the Ether of Infinity were able to stun the Ether of Happy Days right here. But it's not dealing a lot of damage, but at least he was able to stun it and prevent the Ether to do something. Okay, so we can see that they are just doing some free hit right there, but if I were like Pota right there, I will not focus on the Ether of Happy Days. I'll be instructing my knights to go around and attack those elven archers. And there you go, we have Marcia. Notice the treasure chest in the middle of the map, and instead of focusing on fighting Infinity right there, and he did just go to the treasure chest and attempting to claim it. But unfortunately, the skeleton archers of Infinity were able to get in time and were able to prevent Marcia and Happy Days to get the treasure chest. And there you go, when it comes to the numbers, we have Infinity dominating the map. Meanwhile, we can see Marcia right here still developing his base, and at the same time producing some elven archers and warsmiths. Meanwhile, we can see Happy Days also producing skeleton archers and necromancers, copying Infinity's army composition. So when it comes to the objectives of the in-game, we can see that the blue team do have the watchtower on their side, and the red team also have the watchtower on their side. Meanwhile, the manual remains unoccupied, also the fisheries or the farm in the water. And as for the golden idols, they are not yet been occupied by the red team. However, the blue team were able to occupy their golden idol, then that means there is an extra gold source for Pota and Infinity. And there you go, we can see a massive movement coming from Infinity ready to invade Happy Days' base. Now the question, will Happy Days will be able to defend his base, or will this be an end for the red team? And there you go, that is just a massive skeleton archers and skeleton warriors and some necromancers coming from Infinity. Okay, Infinity is not minding the necromancers and skeleton archers from Happy Days and started focusing on taking down the Goblin Lab. However, we can see Marcia were able to respond or enforce the base of Happy Days right there with some elven archers and a Muriel and one healer. So it's like the Pota and Infinity were able to stand underground and now trying to claim the treasure chest. And you can see that Pota do have a lot of gold and woods. And we can notice that Marcia and Happy Days golds are drastically declining. And there you go. Gilbert is on the front line trying to tank and now trying to retreat. One knight is down and now the warsmith are on the front line trying to deal some damage, but it seems that Pota changed his mind. And there you go, the knight is now hunting some units from Pota and Infinity. There you go, but unfortunately I don't think that is a good idea to send your knights in a group of these skeleton archers. But yeah, I think Happy Days were able to defend against Infinity's attempt to siege his base. And this is not looking good for Infinity. If Happy Days think of moving, Infinity's army will be sandwiched from the army of Marcia and Happy Days. And look at that ballista. Alright, so it seems that Marcia will be the one who's going to be sandwiched with this position. Pota just reinforced on the battlefield. However, these knights are trying to take down some skeleton archers. However, those knights are not enough to take down at least half of the skeleton archers of Infinity. And there you go. The blue team are just advancing towards the base of Marcia. And unfortunately for this ballista, it will be taken down by Croc and Gilbert. And you can see this cute little eater dancing around and now arrived to the battlefield and then just stopped for unknown reason. There you go. Infinity's army is just getting bigger and bigger the more he wins a fight because of these necromancers. And that is the last thing that you would like to do. Even these skeleton warriors are not that durable. If there are just too many to handle, then that would be your end. There you go, the Muriel is down. And it seems that Infinity and Pota is trying to take down the base of Marcia. Meanwhile, we have here a zombie and 3 skeleton archers in the base of Happy Days. Will that be enough to withstand the wave of undead units of Infinity? And there you go. And just to remind all of you, Marcia is on the around 3,999 rating. Meanwhile, Infinity is just about 100 or 1,000. There is a huge gap. And there you go, catapults coming from Infinity right there, and some reinforcement coming from Happy Days, but unfortunately, Happy Days, this is too late for you to come in and defend your teammates. I guess Infinity did play his cards very well. And as you can see, Infinity and Pota right now is moving or advancing to the base of Happy Days. Well, with this kind of defensive structures, I don't think that Happy Days will be able to defend his base. And just to let you all know, we have here the Mountain Elemental on its way to the base of the red team. And there we go, massive knights and skeleton warriors and archers and a catapult. And there you go, I think it is just a matter of time before the blue team can claim their victory. And yeah, I think one thing that I can commend from Infinity is that he is patient enough to wait for the right time, for the right opportunity to attack, to gather his forces. He doesn't just blindly attack his opponent. That is one of a kind of a player that you can commend actually. And there you go. It is not all about ratings, it is not all about the numbers of experience. It is all about how you will be playing your cards. And as you can see, Infinity were able to play his cards well, because when it comes to the quality of units, for sure, he is totally in gap against Marcia. But what Infinity did is, he used the quantity of his units. He used Necromancer as a leverage to bolster up his ranks. Although those are just fragile units, but with a great number, they were able to swarm the base of Marcia. And I think that is the end of this video. I hope that you like it. I hope that you learned something from it by just observing how Infinity and Pota fought Marcia and Happy Days. Alright, so that is the end of this video. Goodbye for now, and see you on the Battlefield Legendary Commanders. Bye for now.